John Brown with Collective Development, Part 2 of X-Men 325 from October 1995, Generation of Evil. The cover is a fold-out beauty by Joe Madureira with the holofoil and Storm battling Marrow. And again, just a beautiful cover, beautiful art. Very different than a lot of Marvel comics from the past 25, 30 years. There aren't a lot of splash pages in this book. You can see that this starts off with a baseball game. Here is Monet, later called M, a very powerful mutant actually, when she was still part of Generation X, Jubilee. And again, you can see more playful paneling, and this is where I think you start to see where Madureira was trying to break from comics of the past. And I got to give him credit for that. I really do. The thing that I find off-putting, again, great splash page, but I think the inking was over-inked a lot by Tim Townsend and Matt Ryan. And I think that this paper isn't the newspaper print paper anymore. They were starting to print on more gloss paper. And digital coloring was not in its infancy, but definitely starting to get better enough to make it makes sense for comics to use it. But you get that mid-90s choppy or bad coloring in cartoons and comics, and they were trying to use the technology to save time and make it look more unique or different, and it just doesn't feel right. And again, like I only started at Uncanny 299, but I did start with newspaper print with the old coloring and more established artists like John Romita Jr. in 300. So again, like his manga type of hybrid style is really appreciated. It's very different. It's very unique. But I think the coloring and the inking really doesn't give his art the justice it deserves. And again, you can see the paneling is a little choppy. And I must say that I think Paul Smith with his panel sequence did a much better job with the underground, especially in X-Men 169 with Chris Claremont. As you can see, this does bring back some awesome memories with the Overpower card game. I never opened these. I don't know what's in there, but oh, there you go. It's Black Cat and someone else maybe. I think you get 2 cards. And look, you can get Gretzky's High Top. But, again, here you start to see the underground and some of the characters. Interesting for the time. Marrow was one of the characters who later comes back and is part of the X-Men team. Spoiler alert, I guess. But here you can see that there's not a lot of depth or claustrophobic feeling of being in this sewer, and it just doesn't necessarily work. There's not a lot of splash pages like you see in issue 300, and the writing as well is not as good as I would say 299 was, and setting up what the X-Men were more about, which is acceptance. And again, there's such fruitful issues to go back and look through dealing with the Morlocks. And even the action sequences and storytelling here just don't seem to mesh. I don't know if anyone has more insight than I do. Um, that said, you do get really beautiful sequences here where you have this cut here and here and a lot of action, and the art really just draws you to the final end of this battle with Storm victorious over Marrow. But again, you you see Callisto with Colossus, and there's just not a lot of setup or understanding why they become super close like that. I know that Colossus's brother dealt with the Morlocks early in Lodell's start to X-Men, but again, the flip through, the ads, wonderful, but I think for me as a kid getting this issue, I was super excited. I still loved it, but it wanted me to want more. And I think that later issues did deliver with stories that were kind of circulating off this issue, but it felt more like a setup issue, and that's okay because you're writing a continuous story, and that's how it goes sometimes. But again, I think the thing that really disconnects, and some people really love, but I go back and forth on, is the mid 90s electronic coloring and the over inking, in my opinion, of the inkers. I have seen Madureira's original pencils of this issue, and they're really gorgeous on their own. And I think that the colorist and the inker and the artist maybe didn't collaborate on this issue. But if you have any more insight or disagree, I love it. Tell me why you love this issue, or maybe left you wanting more like me. Thanks so much.